Well, it's the evening of day one of the rifle season here in Oklahoma. Mid-November, the rut's kicked off really well right now. Emily and I came out and hunted this morning and saw at least 4 different young bucks cruising. They weren't really chasing does, but they were sure cruising, checking this food plot. The does that did come in were real spooky. Look like something's been chasing them. They act like they've been really spooky for several days, so I think the bucks are really bumping them around. And the crow is crowing like crazy. But it's perfect time of year. Everything's right. The weather is amazing. It's beautiful out here. Got my 10-year-old daughter and she's not freezing. Perfect weather for her to take a nap like she usually does. We're in the same field where Emily killed her big 10-point last year. Squeeze the trigger some, right behind his shoulder. Dropped him, Emily. Emily, you dropped him.
I killed a deer.
And we've got some really good deer on camera this year. Actually, some deer, a lot better deer than what we killed last year in here. So I'm excited. Can't wait to see what rifle season brings for this pretty little 10-year-old girl. Okay, let's stop right here. I want a lot of people think about deer hunting, or they think about what we're doing here on our farm. They think we're just trophy hunters. They think a lot of hunters are just out there for a trophy, and that's part of it. Don't get me wrong. There is a trophy factor involved here, but I want to take you on a journey, just a mini journey. As a property owner myself, I know I have a lot of things in common with thousands of other people out here. We take a lot of pride in what we do. We take a lot of pride in our property, and we try to manage our deer herd to give them the most potential possible. So there are times when you come out here and you're just strictly a meat hunter. You go out there to fill the freezer, and I don't have a thing against that at all. We harvest those deer for meat also. We're not just trophy hunters. But guys, we spend so much time and so much energy because this is what we love to do. We love managing these deer, and I personally absolutely have a passion for deer hunting, and I always have. It's just the way I grew up. But we've got so much history with this deer this year. You guys have seen in previous videos, I've been watching this deer for months. We've got hundreds of trail camera pictures of this deer and some video clips. But we do all this stuff because we love it. You know, we get out here in the fall and till up the ground and plant food plots. You throw out seeds and you just never know what's gonna come. We run these trail cameras. We get excited about it. I get my kids involved in it. I get my kids in the outdoors, get them out in the woods, let them see what the potential is. I teach my kids, hey, there's nothing wrong with shooting a small buck. If you want to shoot a small buck, go for it. But if you want to let that deer grow a couple years and live to his potential, that's great too. So this buck, you know, guys, I've passed on this buck several times because he's a young deer. I have no doubt this is a 2 or 3 year old deer, and given another 2 or 3 years, this guy would be a monster. That's why I personally passed up on him. I try my best not to be one of those guys that says, if I don't kill this deer, my neighbors will. I just can't stand that. I hate that theory because I don't want to be that neighbor. I want to be the kind of neighbor and the kind of friend and the kind of person that other people respect. And guys, I'm not dogging anybody that says they're gonna shoot a deer. If they don't shoot this deer, their neighbor will. That's your own personal opinion. It's your property. That's great. But for me personally, I'm not gonna be one of those guys that says if I don't kill him, my neighbor will. So I passed on this deer knowing that multiple other people could shoot him, and that was a possibility. But Emily had her heart set on this deer. She's had her eyes on this deer for 2 months now. She hunted him all through the youth season. I bow hunted and saw this deer multiple times. I knew we had him patterned. Everything was coming together. It was working out perfectly. And this buck steps out right in front of Emily on opening day of the 2018 rifle season at about 40 yards.
The other bug's not even moving.
You dropped him.
I can't have a foreneck. I can't have a foreneck. I win, Daddy. I win. Oh, I got one before neck.
I'm so excited for you, Emily. That is 3 for 3. 3 years in a row you killed a buck.
And dropped it.
And, well, the first one you didn't. Last year you dropped one. This year you dropped one.
And I dropped it.
And that deer right there never took a step. She literally dropped him in his tracks with a 243. People tell me all the time that's not a big enough caliber for deer. And we prove it over and over. It's perfect. And, oh, I'm so excited for her. So excited. I'm telling you what. I've passed that deer up with my bow 4 or 5 times this year. I've watched him and watched him and watched him. She claimed that deer. She was hunting that deer. That's the one she wanted. And I think she passed on 4 different bucks this morning, 2 little bucks this afternoon. And the one came out that she wanted, and she didn't waste any time at all. Dropped him in his tracks. No tracking job for Emily again this year.
Guys, I saw my 13-point buck. I totally beat Nick. I mean, he's gonna be so mad that I beat him, but I totally did. So.
Well, here he is, Emily. This is the buck you've been after since the youth season.
Yeah.
This deer, we've got a lot of history with this deer this year. He's not a super old deer. He's a young deer, but when it comes to my kids and getting my kids out in the woods, when they make their mind up on an animal they want to harvest, I don't care what it looks like, how big it is, how small it is, how old it is, how young it is. When someone like this says that's the animal I want to kill, and she's willing to get out here and put the time in and do what it takes to harvest an animal like this, she's got 100% freedom to shoot whatever she wants. You dropped this guy in his tracks.
It's my first team.
2 years in a row in the same food plot. I bet this deer was probably within 20 yards of where you shot your deer last year.
Yeah.
Same food plot,
Like
harvested on our property. It's such a good feeling to get out here and work hard for this stuff. You know, we manage these whitetails. We run, you know, we put in a lot of work making food plots and taking care of our animals and making sure they have what they need to perform as well as they can, to grow as well as they can. And then we get out here in the fall and harvest these animals, and we put this we put this meat in our freezer, and it's just, it's so awesome. It's so amazing. And the excitement I get from watching my kids harvest animals like this, and the excitement of her, just that pure joy it's hard to beat. So I'm pumped for you, Emily. So how many points is this deer?
13.
13 points. And he has got a lot of character. That is a cool looking deer. This little tine over here sticks way out to the side. He's got some kickers on the bottom that come down or come back behind his head.
Cool.
It's a really neat, awesome looking deer. Emily, I am super proud for you.
Thank you.
So Emily's got her deer down. Dutch and Hayden are hunting in the next field over. They're probably only 200 or 300 yards. So we're gonna get this guy out of here. They're gonna go ahead and continue to hunt the rest of the evening. And hopefully, they'll get a deer down this evening too. So we'll see. If not, maybe they'll get a hog or something. Who knows? It's a good day though, isn't it?
Yeah.